What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little. Oh, you don't sell it? Easy. He's not a worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the f was that?
Rampage Jackson's family is now at the center of a storm that no one saw coming. His son Raja was involved in a fight that left another man in the hospital, and the fallout has spiraled into something far bigger than anyone expected. Fans are divided. Some are calling for harsh punishment, while others argue that Raja deserves a chance at redemption. Meanwhile, Rampage himself has become a target, with angry messages and even death threats flooding his inbox. At the same time, UFC star Sean O'Malley is opening up about a long-kept secret from inside the octagon, confirming rumors that had been swirling for months. And just when fans thought they had enough to process, Dana White stepped in and dropped his own bombshell about money, sponsors, and what really goes on behind the scenes at the UFC. These three stories, Rampage's family in danger, O'Malley's confession, and Dana White's unexpected admission, have collided to create one of the most dramatic weeks the fight world has seen in a long time. And the details behind each one only get stranger the deeper you look.
To give him a receipt, which in wrestling basically means if you're hit for real, hit them back later.
Hey,
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah, hello. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were
The story begins with Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage, who was already a recognizable figure in the world of professional wrestling. Raja was involved in a violent incident with another wrestler known as Psycho Stu. Reports say the fight quickly got out of control, leaving Stu badly hurt and hospitalized. For days, fans feared the worst. Then came the update: Stu had regained consciousness, and his family posted online to thank people for the overwhelming support. But the damage had already been done. Raja's name was splashed across social media, and suddenly Rampage himself was pulled into the controversy. Many fans blamed him, saying he hadn't raised his son right, or worse, that he somehow encouraged the behavior. Others defended Raja, pointing out that young men make mistakes and deserve second chances. What really fueled the fire was the emotional divide. People who had never even followed wrestling or MMA before now felt the need to pick a side. Every update about Stu's condition, every whisper about Raja's future, only added more tension to a story that was no longer just about one fight.
MMA fighter Raja Jackson is reportedly being investigated by the LAPD after appearing to beat his opponent unconscious during a live-streamed wrestling match. Video shows Jackson being accosted by other fighters during the event at KnockX Pro Academy in Sun Valley Saturday night.
As the debate raged on, Rampage Jackson found himself under fire. The legendary fighter, known for his toughness and charisma inside the cage, was now in a very different kind of battle. In an emotional interview, Rampage admitted that he was getting hundreds of death threats from fans who saw him as the villain. Some accused him of being a bad father. Others claimed he was secretly pulling strings behind the scenes. Rampage pushed back, saying that he wasn't in control of the situation and that people were twisting his words to fit their own narrative. He explained how painful it was to see his family dragged through the mud and how helpless he felt knowing anything he said could be used against him. Rampage also revealed that his kids were being harassed, adding another layer of stress to a family already shaken. The intensity of the backlash shows just how quickly public opinion can shift. One moment you're celebrated as a legend. The next, you're attacked as if all your years of hard work never mattered. For Rampage, it's not just about his reputation, it's about protecting his family from a storm that seems determined to break them down. While Rampage was dealing with that crisis, another UFC star was making headlines for an entirely different reason.
You obviously saw the UFC sold the rights to Paramount.
Huge, 7.7 billies.
How does that affect your guys' bag?
That's a question I have for the UFC as well. I'm gonna go talk to them Monday and ask the same questions. I haven't talked to UFC about that.
Sean O'Malley, one of the most popular fighters in the sport today, finally confirmed a long-standing rumor that had been haunting his career. Months ago, a photo surfaced of him on crutches just before a major fight. At the time, O'Malley brushed it off, but fans never stopped speculating. Now, he has admitted that the rumors were true. He had gone into that fight with a broken toe and torn ligaments. He described how he spent weeks in a walking boot, training in modified ways just to keep his body ready. He revealed that fight night was actually the first time he removed the protective shoe and went all in barefoot. The revelation stunned fans, many of whom now see his performance in a new light. Fighting injured isn't uncommon in MMA, but the fact that O'Malley kept it hidden shows just how much fighters are willing to risk for the chance at victory. It wasn't just about toughness, it was about protecting his career and refusing to show weakness. But O'Malley didn't stop there. In another candid admission, he opened up about something even more personal.
The thing about being like a superstar is people are gonna love to see you lose. Like there's so many, especially when I'm confident, especially when I say like I'm gonna knock Morale out. I'm confident that people love to hate confidence because most people are insecure. I truly believe I can go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time.
He confessed that during his rise in the UFC, he had tried too hard to follow in the footsteps of Conor McGregor. From the way he talked to the way he promoted fights, O'Malley admitted he wanted to be the next big pay-per-view superstar. The problem was that it didn't feel natural. He said he forced drama with fighters he didn't even dislike, all in the name of building hype. Looking back, he regrets some of those moments, realizing he should have focused more on being himself. Fans were surprised by his honesty, since O'Malley is usually known for confidence and swagger. Some respected him for admitting his mistakes, while others felt it proved he was never truly original. Either way, his words opened a new conversation about the pressure fighters face not just to win fights, but to sell themselves as larger-than-life personalities. In the UFC, fighting is only half the battle. The other half is image, and for O'Malley 5, that balancing act nearly cost him his identity.
Did you use him as a role model at all?
100%. Like, the way he carried himself into fights, the confidence, his confidence to say what he thought was I'm gonna knock this dude out round 2. I'm gonna do it. Like, I got a lot out of that, and I was like, okay, I can be confident like that. And I feel like I got lost almost in a sense where I wanted to be like Conor too much instead of being like myself.
His reflection went even deeper when he admitted that missing out on high school wrestling had affected his career in ways he hadn't fully realized before. Wrestling is often considered one of the strongest foundations for MMA success, teaching discipline, work ethic, and relentless conditioning. O'Malley admitted that at the time, he didn't take training seriously enough, and now he wonders how different things might have been if he had built that base early on. This level of honesty was unusual for a fighter who built his reputation on confidence and flair, and it made fans view him in a new light. Some said it showed maturity and growth. Others thought it was O'Malley making excuses. Either way, it kept people talking, and in the world of combat sports, being the center of conversation is often just as valuable as winning fights. As fans were still processing O'Malley's revelations, another fighter stirred the pot with a controversial take.
Have 25, 26 professional fights, but in amateur career I have almost 300, 200 fights.
300 amateur?
Yeah.
What age did you move to or go MMA?
At beginning when I go to some competition, like 10 years old. In the UFC I have one goal. I don't want to leave the UFC without second belt.
Islam Makhachev, one of the most dominant athletes in the sport, spoke about why the United States currently lacks active UFC champions. His view? It all comes down to culture and motivation. He argued that fighters from outside the US carry the weight of their entire family, city, or even country when they step into the cage. That sense of duty, he said, pushes them to train harder and fight with more heart. By contrast, he claimed that many American fighters don't feel the same pressure, and therefore don't fight with the same intensity. The comments sparked fierce debate online. Some agreed, pointing out that fighters from regions like Dagestan or Brazil often speak about representing their people. Others pushed back, saying US. Fighters are just as passionate, but face different challenges. The truth may lie somewhere in between, but one thing is certain, Makhachev's comments struck a nerve and sparked a conversation that goes far beyond the cage. And then, as if the drama couldn't get any bigger, UFC President Dana White stepped into the spotlight with his own bombshell. Known for being outspoken and unapologetic, White revealed that he had actually turned down a massive sponsorship deal. According to him, the company involved was too demanding, constantly trying to control what the UFC could and couldn't do. Instead of giving in, White chose to walk away, even though it meant leaving big money on the table. His reason was simple. He didn't want sponsors dictating how the UFC operated or punishing fighters for speaking their minds. The revelation surprised many fans who assumed the UFC would chase every dollar available. Some applauded White for putting principles ahead of profit, while others saw it as just another example of his ability to spin stories in his favor. Regardless of where you stand, it's clear that the relationship between sports organizations and sponsors is far more complicated than it looks from the outside. In White's eyes, freedom is worth more than money, and he's willing to back that belief with action.
The Skydance Corporation is also the parent company of CBS Sports, reached a landmark deal with TKO Holdings announced today as Paramount Plus will be the new exclusive home for the UFC starting in 2026. It's the start of a 7-year deal worth $7.7 billion.
Meanwhile, fighters continue to stir the pot with their own rivalries. Rising contender Bislan Chuzkaev made headlines by calling out Bo Nickel, dismissing him as an easy fight. He promised he could finish Nickel in the second round, claiming that wrestlers don't pose a real threat to him. The bold statement immediately grabbed attention, not only because Nickel is considered one of the most promising prospects in the UFC, but also because Chuzkaev himself is still relatively new to the spotlight. Elsewhere, Merab Dvalishvili turned heads by promising to knock out Corey Sandhagen, a fighter known for his striking. Normally, fans expect Merab to rely on his relentless wrestling, so the idea of him standing and trading punches added an extra layer of intrigue. These bold callouts reminded fans that in the fight game, confidence and trash talk are often as important as skill, because they build anticipation for what comes next. But through all the headlines, O'Malley's confession, Dana White's sponsor drama, Islam Makhachev's comments, the story that refuses to go away is still the one surrounding Rampage Jackson and his son Raja. At its heart, it's not just about one fight gone wrong. It's about what happens when the spotlight of fame collides with real-life mistakes. For Rampage, the situation is personal, painful, and dangerous. His family is under attack online, his reputation is being questioned, and the future of his son hangs in the balance. Fans are left asking hard questions. Should Raja be punished with prison time, or should he be given the chance to change? Should Rampage be blamed for his son's actions, or is he just another parent trying to guide his child through difficult times? No matter what side you take, it's clear this story isn't over yet. The fight world thrives on drama, but sometimes the drama goes far beyond the cage and the consequences are real. At the end of the day, all of these stories tie together in a way that says something bigger about the UFC and the fight game. Rampage Jackson shows us how quickly public opinion can turn against even the most respected legends. Sean O'Malley reminds us of the pressure fighters face to perform, not just physically but also as entertainers. Islam Makhachev sparks a debate about motivation, culture, and what drives athletes to greatness. And Dana White proves that even at the top, decisions about money and power are never as simple as they look. The fight world is built on moments of glory, but also on moments of controversy, confession, and chaos. And maybe that's why fans can't look away, because behind every punch and every headline is a story that feels bigger than sports. The question now is simple. Where does the UFC go from here? Are we entering an era defined by raw honesty and dangerous mistakes? Or is this just the beginning of even bigger scandals waiting to explode? Only time will tell.